Welcome back to part 2 of that kid on a bicycle. In this short video, I will be inking and coloring. So this was the sketch I left off on, and I mentioned a few things I wanted to do if I inked it or colored it in the last video. And it's basically not over lining it. First I gotta get rid of the extra pencil. A lot of this pencil will get in the way of the colored pencil. It will show up underneath the colors. The ink sometimes does not soak into the paper if there's too much pencil underneath. So I'm using my kneaded eraser and just dabbing away the buildup of pencil. There really shouldn't be any strong buildup. If I'm going to ink something, there shouldn't be a lot of pencil or graphite to remove. So that's another thing I need to pick up on. I have my cool little markers that I've purchased a while ago and never really used them. Some of the most difficult things to start inking would be the eyes, the mouth, and nose. That seems to be the place where I used to trip up the whole drawing just by trying to start with the face. I might be all right and hiding mistakes elsewhere, but I really had to put a lot of effort into practicing inking simple eyes, simple mouth, simple nose, and simple ears. And that's part of what I was showing in the previous videos, is making simple, recognizable curves, loops for nose, ears, eyes, and mouth. Here I'm going to speed it up. I'm not using heavy pressure, and I'm definitely not going to ink any pattern of the sweatshirt, that horrible 80s sweatshirt. I just have to say that. And I have no problem inking the black pants. The colored pencil will definitely cover up most of the ink lines. And I mentioned in the previous video I was going to lightly ink that bicycle basket. Even though it's on backwards, it's okay. Because most of those plastic threads in there that are woven, see, I even think I'm inking too much right now. Look at that, that's a lot. Most of those are pure white. They have a hint of color to them, but they're mostly white. Inking other things is hit and miss, touch and go. Anything that's solid but has a very sharp shine, reflection of light on one side, like if the light were coming from the left-hand side on those metal poles, the framework around the front wheel, the green metal, then I should not ink the left side. I should just let a white colored pencil do the job, or a yellow, whatever, bright green. I think they're green. And basic things like that. You can heavy ink under shadowed areas. That's not a problem. If ink is not the main source of describing your visual drawing that people can see, then it's going to be color or shading. So in this case, I'm getting rid of a lot of the extra pencil mark, except for the pattern on the sweater. I definitely have to keep that. I'm gonna fast forward, yeah. Let's make that quicker. So now I can start with colors. Colors are gonna be the main focus, and I just really, really wanted to color that hair. I don't have pretty hair like that anymore. That's like baby hair. It is fluffy and gorgeous. That's gone. So I'm gonna do a bunch of yellow blondes, peach blondes, basic brighter, lighter colors. It gets a little darker towards the scalp under the mass of hair there, and anywhere there'd be a heavy shadow where the light couldn't reach, Even though it's blondish hair, there's some dark areas. So I definitely started with a bright yellow, more of a white yellow, like lemon, something lighter than the yellow stripes on the road or something. Used a little bit of pink and orange, and then went right to browns, and a dark brown, just to pick up the folds where there is no light back there. Put a hint of orange for the eyebrows, typical Celtic woe. Eyebrows sometimes are missing. Put on a little yellow. Skin is mostly, my skin when I was little was very fair. But if I did get a tan, it was pink. So I'm gonna blend everything with white, all the skin. There's a little close-up. Now my whole drawing is a little bit stretched tall compared to the picture. The reason why it looks all right here is because my table is slanted downwards. So the top of the head of the character is closer to the camera by a lot versus the feet and the bottom of the bicycle wheel. Oh, I also got a better pencil sharpener instead of a pocket knife. It is made of solid steel. It's pretty heavy. It's not the cheap dollar store stuff. It's very hard to hold on to though. So I gotta maybe find something a little bit bigger. Once I get the hair and skin done, then I'm looking at probably the sweater. Yeah, the photograph is a little shorter than the final drawing here. The drawing right now looks okay. So yeah, I'm gonna start on the sweater. Bringing in 2 tones of pink. It looks like it has a medium pink and then a very deeper, darker pink. And there's quite a lot of smaller details on this sweater, but I'm gonna ignore those. I don't need to bring all that forward. It's not something I'm gonna stare at for very long. I'm not gonna where are those tiny white snowflakes that are supposed to be on that sweater? I'm not looking for those. It's just general patterns. So I'm gonna get the folds. Anything close to a crease in the fabric is gonna be the darker pink. The lighter pink should be where the light source would strike it. And same thing with the sleeves. If I had a better way of keeping track of the details on a larger drawing, that would be the reason to put more details. It would be a larger drawing. Something that's going to be framed and looked at often. I'm not really interested in working on details right now. Probably my main focus is shapes and colors. Getting things to look more accurate. Size, head height, and hands and feet, like I mentioned. Basic facial shapes for nose, eyes, mouth, and ears. And probably getting my 3D understanding worked on. Like that bicycle wheel took me 4 times to redraw that to kind of gauge. And it still looks a little funky if you look at it. So that's okay. I also fixed the bicycle pedals when I inked them in the beginning of this video. They were a little bit wonky. One was extra large. Now the reflective headlight is so bright, and all I have is the white paper. I can't add anything to it. A white colored pencil wouldn't quite do much. It might help a glow around it, but it's reflecting from the flash of the camera. So just add the colors around it, and then you can see how bright that is there. bright pink basket. Should be much lighter than it is now. The inked lines definitely darkened it. So you can tell why I was mentioning not to put too much inked lines in the basket. That would be why. Putting a generalized rose, bright pink, light pink. There is a little bit of color detail on this sweater that helps make it relatable to the picture. So I'm just adding that so it looks closer to what the photo looks like. And then for the black stretchy pants, man, I remember those not fitting well. Oh, they were just all rolled up and weird. I wanted to straighten them, or I wanted them to be tighter and longer, and it's just, I hated those pants, absolutely. They were even fading, like they were turning brown instead of pure black. So it was no cool. But I had thoroughly ruined them while bicycling in the sun. Stretched them out from my knees, bending so much. So I used a grayish blue, a dark gray blue, and then I came back with a hint of purple and brown. For the left-hand side of both of those, you can kind of see the pants are not quite pure black in the photo. The right-hand side, farthest away from the sunshine, is definitely pure black. But that's the way the fabric is. So kind of a trick is to go with a little bit of knowledge about fabric. If you know things would fade or be a strange color in the sunlight, then you can kind of adjust your colored pencils for that. Most kids' pants are not pure one color. They are multiple colors layered and dyed in a factory. So as the kid wears them out, you'll see these hints of other colors showing up. But oh well. So the right hand side is extra dark. There's a lot of glossy shine on these shoes. So wherever the light would strike the left side of the shoe, I'm gonna leave it mostly white. If I throw a hint of the gray over it, just by a light pencil stroke, that's fine. Like I said, this is not a super duper professional drawing. This is me practicing trying to get back into the drawing that could be professional. Right now this is just cute and it's okay. I know I've kind of abandoned the art a long time ago for jobs that would pay and people's expectations and trying to survive and all these other things, getting married, going to college, having kids. Then I got all kinds of health problems and stuff. But besides that, I still love doing art, and it's a thing that actually helps me spiritually relax and kind of build my understanding of the world around me. So I have generally colored everything except for that orange bike lock on the front handlebar shaft there. Just below the light, there's a bike lock. So I'm gonna briefly color the background and get a general idea of where those other colors are. Like I said, no details. There's the orange. A little bit of silver on the metal. I ignored the white tire completely, and that had a lot of texture on those tread marks. Because that tire, that would have definitely pushed the drawing further. You can see there's a lot of darkened tread where the bike tire would run over the black top, and it's a white tire, so it picked up all that black top coloring from the road. That could have been added. Maybe I'll do that later off camera. But you can see the shape of the bike tire is what tripped me up. So here's my full drawing flat on the table, and it's definitely lengthened compared to what you were seeing as I was working on it. It's compared to next to the photo. It's cute. I could have darkened my pinks. My feet are not quite placed right on the ground. One foot is, but the other one not so much. The hair is generally cool and close to what is in the photo. The face is too long. And that basket, too textured. Needs to be a little bit bulby, rounder, and not so square. And probably the green bike wheel frame bar needs to be a little bit rounder and smaller, closer to the tire. So basically, little things. Otherwise, it was a good practice. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe so I can get more views. Thank you.